It's log day 732. I once again missed my opportunity to buy Bitcoin. I'm not sure how much longer I can do this. Caleb Curry signing out. Psych, it's day one of this new, I don't know what you want to call this, channel. So basically, we're going to be talking about the most important Bitcoin cryptocurrency news, and we're going to be doing this, ideally, every stinking day. So yes, this is the first video, and we have one clear goal here. I want to give crystal clear, down-to-earth updates on cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and the entire blockchain industry. And basically, I want it to be something where you can come watch an episode each day and get what you need to know to stay up to date in this industry. We're going to start off fairly basic, but as we get into it, we're going to get into the more detailed stuff and build up knowledge over time. So this is something where you can start watching if you don't really know a whole lot about cryptocurrency. So now I want to talk about what I am not. I'm not a financial advisor, and everything I mention in these videos should be interpreted as entertainment or educational purposes only. This is just a means for me to talk about something that interests me. Another thing is I'm not going to be approaching cryptocurrency from strictly a technical perspective or strictly a financial perspective either. And I'm certainly not going to be on video here like, buy this, sell that, cryptocurrency, yeah, Bitcoin to the moon. There's already enough people on YouTube doing that, so I'm going to try to bring something a little unique to the table, and that I'm not going to be completely obnoxious and sell to you. Well, that is assuming I don't have a sponsor, right? Which this channel is in fact sponsored. So I think one of the best ways to get started with cryptocurrency is to buy some. And one of the best ways to do this is with CoinMama. CoinMama makes it super simple and secure to buy Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, supported in 188 different countries. Use easy payment methods such as credit and debit cards, Apple Pay, or a bank wire to buy Bitcoin within minutes. To get started on your Bitcoin journey with CoinMama, check out the link in the pinned comment. So beyond what I've said so far, I'm completely new to this. I mean, I've done some Bitcoin stuff, but I've never really done news update style content. So I'm really looking for suggestions. Let me know what you want to see in the comments below. All right, so what I want to do is I just want to talk about a few different segments. Today we're only going to have two because I kind of had the introduction and I just say who I was and all that stuff. But the first one is we're going to talk about the price of Bitcoin, and I'm not going to approach this like, oh, this is the perfect time to buy or perfect time to sell, because I, for one, don't have enough experience in that, and timing the market is probably not the best way to profit. Ideally, we approach this with the mindset that we want to collect some Bitcoin for its long-term potential value. Trading Bitcoin, where you buy and sell regularly, is a totally valid thing to do, but that's not what we're talking about in this video. So I planned out this video when the price of Bitcoin just passed 40K. And this is obviously a high on this chart, but it's not the all-time high. If we look at the month, back at the beginning of this month, it was in the 41K region, possibly even 42K. It looks like with the 3-month, the price is taken at $6.59 every single time. So that's why the prices weren't lining up there. But if we look at the 1 month here, you can see the price was definitely a lot higher at the beginning of January, but we did peak over 40K. So the question is, are you going to buy Bitcoin? I mean, I'm punching the air right now because, I was heavily considering just putting a bunch of money in Bitcoin, as I'm sure millions of people were as well, but I didn't buy as much as I wanted. It seems like Bitcoin is finally starting to earn the trust of the masses, and more people are beginning to accept it as a valid currency. That being said, I don't exactly think the world understands that Bitcoin is not the ideal currency for transactions. So there's something known as the Bitcoin scalability problem. In reality, Bitcoin is not going to be the currency that we use to make everyday transactions. In fact, it can really only support up to 7 transactions a second. So I think there's a few different types of people buying Bitcoin. Well, there's the people that know absolutely nothing and they just buy it because their grandson told them to. Then there's the people who think Bitcoin is going to be the currency of the future. And then there's the people that really understand that Bitcoin is not necessarily the daily currency of the future, but of all of the different cryptocurrencies, it's the most likely to be a good store of value. So Bitcoin is more ideal for holding value, consider it like digital gold, as opposed to something you use for everyday transactions. I mean, even 7 transactions wouldn't support one company such as McDonald's, which sells like 70 some burgers every second. So this is a little cool website I found, everysecond.io, and it just gives a visual of how many things are being sold. And this one is McDonald's. And based off of the source here, I don't know where they get these numbers, but 75 burgers every second, which means if McDonald's tried to adopt Bitcoin, it wouldn't work. So that's just one company, and there's tons of them. So this brings up the next logical question. What is that currency that is ideal for daily transactions? If I want to buy a coffee or go down the street and get pizza from my local pizza restaurant, or, I just want to send my friends some money, Bitcoin doesn't seem to be the long-term solution, at least in its current state. So there were basically branches of Bitcoin, forks, that brought new rules to the protocol. For example, Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash is another cryptocurrency where the target audience or the target purpose is clearly everyday transactions. So the thing that Bitcoin Cash is really selling is peer-to-peer transactions, which is how cryptocurrency works, but also very small fees and very fast transfers. But Bitcoin Cash is not the only currency competing for this spot. Most people agree that Bitcoin is the cryptocurrency to store wealth. But nobody has truly agreed on what cryptocurrency is the cryptocurrency for day-to-day transactions. And because of this, there are a bunch of different altcoins, coins that are not Bitcoin, that are basically trying to fill this role. And a bunch of new ones are being developed. So for example, here's a project that I have some involvement in, which is the New Boston coin. So for those of you who are in software development, the New Boston, he was one of the founding fathers of the YouTube tutorial. And he's working on a cryptocurrency where the goal is to outpace Bitcoin, 3,000 some transactions per second as opposed to 7. So I don't really know how this is going to stand up in competition with all these other coins. They all have different rules and are bound to compete with each other. However, this is just an example of another currency that could help fill this role. And, maybe it's not something where there's just one cryptocurrency for day-to-day transactions. Instead, there's actually numerous cryptocurrencies, and we can choose between them. I accept this entire list of cryptocurrencies. And I think that is probably where we're going to go eventually. So it might be something where a payment provider or a payment gateway will accept numerous cryptocurrencies, and those numerous cryptocurrencies will either be converted to one cryptocurrency or just delivered to you directly. And that's what we're actually going to be talking about in an upcoming video. So for example, I sell courses online and people can pay me in euros, but I ultimately get United States dollars. Maybe it's something like that with cryptocurrency where someone could pay me in Bitcoin Cash, but because of conversions, I actually receive United States dollars, or I receive Bitcoin, or whatever it might be. Or maybe I just receive that cryptocurrency directly. So another question I receive a lot is, why are there so many different coins? Well, each coin has its own approach, its own rules, and an example of rule is, how does this cryptocurrency come into existence? How do people acquire this coin? Well, Bitcoin has its own thing, Bitcoin mining. There are different coins such as staking coins, and we'll get into all of that. But this one is fairly unique in that when you contribute to the project, these coins are distributed to you. So for full disclosure, I'm on this list, so we can go under teams. And I'm involved in this cryptocurrency, so I guess you could say I'm financially incentivized for it to be successful. However, it's really hard to say if it will or if it will not, because there's so much competition in this space. In addition to this, you also get rewarded for bug fixes and so forth. So this is pretty different because It's not so algorithmic like Bitcoin mining, and it's a little bit more subjective. So it's really community based. I don't know if that's good or bad. Some people don't like that, but I think that also distinguishes this currency from a lot of other ones. So I guess we'll just have to see. So what do we expect from the future? I don't know. Obviously, I can't see the future, but I do see more and more people accepting Bitcoin as normal. And ultimately, I think that's going to affect the price. Only a small percentage of people currently own Bitcoin. Let's generously say a fourth of people own some form of cryptocurrency, which I think is probably not true, but let's be on the safe side here. Well, that means there's still significant growth in this space as it becomes the normal currency for potentially the entire world. I don't really know, but I do think that this is basically the introduction of a global currency, and people are finally starting to accept that. And I hope where I fit in is introducing that perspective of a balance between the technical aspect of cryptocurrency and the financial aspect of cryptocurrency. Maybe that's not that unique, but basically, I have a computer science background, and the cryptocurrency and finances is my interest, my hobby. So I think I might have an interesting perspective that other people here on YouTube might not have. People that purely focus on the blockchain content or people that purely focus on how to get rich quick. I'm not going to be focusing on one of those extremes, but hopefully somewhere right in the middle that makes my content ideal for everybody. So that was a really long video just for me to say, hey, I'm going to be talking about Bitcoin. So thank you for watching. Stay tuned in the next video. And if you enjoy the content, please be sure to subscribe. We're going to get 100K subscribers in the first year. Up next, we're going to be talking about PayPal to potentially accept Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in 2021, which I really think is going to change the landscape. So stay tuned for that video later, and I'll see you in the next one.